Imagine buying a brand new electric scooter. That first week feels like freedom. You zip past traffic, climb steep hills without breaking a sweat, and easily hit the 50-kilometer range promised on the glossy packaging. But jump forward 2 years, and that exact same commute feels like a gamble. The digital battery indicator drops terrifyingly fast. You suddenly find yourself physically pushing the scooter up the exact same gentle inclines it used to effortlessly conquer. And it's easy to blame corporate planned obsolescence or a simple faulty wire for this drop in performance, but the reality is more complex. Inside that heavy, sealed black box on the floorboard, a violent microscopic war is tearing the chemistry apart. The way you plug it in, the outside weather, how hard you twist the throttle are the invisible weapons accelerating its mechanical death. To understand why, look at the battery as two microscopic parking garages facing each other. One garage is the anode, and the other is the cathode. Electrical current forces millions of tiny chemical cars, lithium ions, to rush back and forth, spinning your reels. These microscopic garages begin to crumble the very first time you plug the scooter into the wall. Every time ions cross the divide, a sticky film called the Solid Electrolyte Interphase, or SEI, builds up on the walls of the anode. Over hundreds of daily commutes, this film grows thicker, permanently trapping those lithium ions like cars stuck in hardened mud. This trap slashes the total number of free energy carriers, directly robbing the scooter of its riding range. The physical graphite material in the anode also suffers as it works. Millions of ions packing into the structure cause it to swell by roughly 10%, leading to microcracking that exposes fresh, vulnerable surfaces. Modern convenience introduces its own dangers. Forcing high-speed electricity from a fast charger into a freezing cold scooter creates a microscopic traffic jam. The lithium ions cannot park fast enough. They crash outside the garage, stacking up on the surface as metallic needle-like structures called dendrites. These needles act as chemically dead weight, permanently killing the battery's capacity to hold power. Chemical failure eventually transitions from an inconvenience into a physical hazard. Between 2016 and 2020, trauma centers across Singapore documented a 20-fold spike in severe chemical and thermal burn injuries. These patients required intensive care following the sudden, catastrophic failure of high-density battery packs. Catastrophe occurs when those microscopic dendrite needles finally grow long enough to bridge the gap and pierce the delicate internal separator, dividing the two garages. This creates an internal short circuit that boils liquid electrolytes and swells the casing until it violently detonates, a chain reaction known as thermal runaway. Because gradual capacity loss can eventually mutate into an unquenchable fire, the chemical integrity of your battery is a matter of life or death safety. Heat is the silent multiplier for all of these destructive forces. Following the Arrhenius equation, chemical reaction rates roughly double for every 10 degrees Celsius increase in temperature. Leaving a fully charged scooter in the 40-degree summer sun can destroy over a third of its structural lifespan in a single year. Human behavior also plays a role. We are conditioned to crave a 100% charge, demanding a full battery bar before we leave the house. For a standard lithium-ion battery, the top 20% of the charge curve is a chemical war zone. Forcing it to 100% requires high voltages that stress the internal architecture and dissolve the precious metals inside. Running a scooter to zero and charging it back to full every day will cripple the battery in barely 500 trips. Staying between 30 and 80% relieves the chemical pressure on the system, which can triple the battery's lifespan. Manufacturers of premium electric vehicles are beginning to shift away from standard chemistries toward lithium iron phosphate, or LFP cells. Although LFP is slightly heavier, it possesses high thermal stability and can endure up to 5,000 charge cycles without noticeable degradation. Your electric scooter functions as a living chemical organism. It reacts to mechanical stress, suffocates in extreme heat, and degrades under high voltage limits. By breaking the addiction to the 100% screen and unplugging early, you stop being a passive writer and become the architect of how long your machine will live.